Hi guys, you're welcome back to Physics Solution, and today we'll be solving a question under the topic motion. The question goes thus: a bus moves from rest with a uniform acceleration of 2 meters per second square for the first 10 seconds. It then accelerates at a uniform rate of 1 meter per second square for another 15 seconds. It continues at a constant speed for 70 seconds and finally comes to rest in 20 seconds by uniform deceleration. Draw the velocity time graph of the motion using the information given above. From your graph or otherwise, calculate the total distance traveled, the average speed for the whole journey, the average retardation as the body is brought to rest, the maximum speed attained during the motion. This question is actually a very simple one, which we will solve. So, in solving this question, we have to first of all draw our velocity time graph. The velocity time graph is a graph that houses both our velocity on the y-axis and our time on the x-axis. So we have to label the graph. This is for our velocity, and here is for our time. Now let's go back to our question and read from the question. The question says a bus moves from rest. This is starting from rest. Then to start at the 0 point on the graph, starting from rest with a uniform acceleration of 2 meters per second square. It's accelerating with the acceleration of 2 meters per second square for the first 10 seconds. So this is our 10 seconds. And we write our 10. This is the acceleration the bus moves, the acceleration the bus undergo for 10 seconds. It then accelerates at a uniform rate of 1 meter per second square for another 15 seconds. So from this point here, it now slows its acceleration to 1 meter per second square. So that means it will be reduced to 1 meter per second square for 15 seconds. For 15 seconds. So 15 plus 10 will be what? 25. That is our second acceleration. Now, in continuation, it continues at a constant speed for 70 seconds. So the bus now continues moving with a constant speed for 70 seconds. 70 seconds, that's a long time, man. 70 seconds. Let's see our 70 seconds. We have 70 plus 25 will give us what? 95. And finally comes to rest in 20 seconds. And the bus finally comes to rest in 20 seconds. So if you add our 20 to 95, we'll be having 115 seconds in total. So this is the velocity time graph. Now from the graph here, we can label our graph for easier calculation. In labeling our graph, we can pick this point as our point O, here as our A, here as B, can have this as C, D, E, and F. And this is what we refer to as our velocity time graph. And the first thing we can do here is to get the velocities of our motion at each point. At the point A, what is the velocity attained by the motion? And also at point C, what is the velocity attained by the bus? To calculate for the velocity attained at point A, we use our equation of motion, the first equation of motion that says that V is equals to U plus AT. So our V is equals to the U here is the initial velocity, and at this point, since it's starting from rest, the initial velocity is 0 plus the acceleration it's traveling with is 2 meters per second square, as mentioned here. So 2 multiplier, and the time taken to cover the distance that it's used in traveling with that acceleration is 10 seconds. So 2 multiplied by 10 is 20 plus 0 is 20. So we have the V is equals to 20 meters per seconds. This is the first velocity attained. So at this point, we will write 20. So now, to get the second velocity attained after traveling for 25 seconds, we use the same equation of motion by saying the final velocity is equals to U plus AT. But the U in this case, because it's traveling from point A to point C, the U it has covered, the initial velocity at this point will be 20 meters per seconds. You have 20 meters as our initial velocity plus the acceleration it's using to travel from the point A to point C is now 1 meter per second square. And the time it took to travel from point A to point C is 15 seconds, as mentioned in the question earlier. So V will be equals to 20 plus 1 multiplied by 15 is 15. 15 plus 20 will give us a total of 35 meters per second. So at this point here, we will be having 35. So at this point, we'll be having 35 as our final velocity. So now we can use the parameters we've known to solve the remaining questions. So we've gotten our velocities for the point A and point C. Also, we've been able to draw our velocity time graph. So we'll be stopping here for today. In our next episode on physics solution, we'll be solving the other questions. See you again.